What is going on, guys? My name is Sean Barnard, and today I'm here with bettingaz.com. I'm here to give you a sportsbook review on Unibet Sportsbook. In this video, I'm going to take you through the pros and cons of the overall sportsbook, take you through the registration process, how to create an account, and everything else that you should know about Unibet before beginning your sports betting experience. Now, before I dive fully into it, I would like to make sure that you guys are checking out bettingaz.com. On our website, we have a look at a similar breakdown what I'm doing, except in written form and article form to on the site. So you can jump in. If you have any specific questions, you should refer to this article here. The link is directly in the description of this video. So it does have everything covered, and we do have you covered start to finish when it comes to the betting experience here on bettingaz.com. So make sure to check that out. Once again, the link is right in the description to this video. But I do want to get into it. And without further ado, let's dive into Unibet Sportsbook. So for starters, here's a look at the overall interface of the sportsbook. The green and white is kind of the design that they go for. This is the traditional outlook for it. As far as registering is going to be the first thing you do once you get to it. You do that by going to the top right corner, that yellow register button. Here you go through, you type in, as you can see, some promotions pop right up here. Before I get any further, I would like to note that it is very important to capitalize on some promotions. The most lucrative offer that sportsbooks tend to push is during the registration process. So before you open that account, make sure you're getting the best value for your best bang for your buck when it comes to creating an account, that capitalizing on these promotions and coding your account with some additional offers and credits is the best way to minimize your risk while maximizing your potential earnings. So you do want to make sure that you do take care of it. The promotions are constantly rotating. These things are changing frequently within the sports book for what they roll out. We have you covered here in bettingaz.com that you can make sure that you refer to our app and refer to our website. We have links that will send you directly to the website to make sure you are getting the most bang for your buck there. So let's get past this promo here. Here is the registration process. It is pretty simple here on Unibet. You simply enter your first, last name, email, password, date of birth, go through all about the basics. You do have to confirm your identity, confirm that you were within the legal boundaries of the state that you are betting here in Arizona, but it's pretty standard. It will take you, I would say, a little around 5 minutes for Unibet to register. It's a pretty easy process. I would even say easier than some of the other sports books out there. So I would recommend that. It is pretty seamless there. Now let's get back to the actual wagering. So you can see right along the side here is all kind of the options. They have the main sports right up here when it comes to NFL, MLB, NCAA football, tennis, NHL, and Premier League. You also can scroll down for some more options, and they do have some more niche categories when it comes to this stuff like Formula One, handball, motorsports, rugby league, rugby union, snooker, tennis, UFC. So there are plenty of other options for sports too. Now let's dive through. Let's take a look at some of the other options. And by the way, I would like to point out that they do promote these popular same game parlays. I do think this is a cool aspect of Unibet, that rather than digging through or coming up with things, if you're just scrolling down the app and something catches your eye, you can jump on it right away by simply clicking on it here. So that is an advantage of Unibet that I think is cool. Obviously, no commitment to having to take any of these offers. You are free to create your own as well, but that is an option that they do put on the table. Let's begin by taking an example, placing an NFL bet. So I'm going to click that NFL option here. And as you can see, there is some live football being played at the time of me recording that. I'm going to circle back to live betting, but you can see this promoted right here on the app as well, or on the website as well. And let's begin by jumping in. Let's take a look at the Arizona Cardinals in this video. So we know the Cardinals, not the highest of expectations heading into the season, but they do have a win that they knocked off the Cowboys in an impressive performance. Maybe you believe in them to do something similar against the LA Rams in this matchup. Game will take place in LA, as you can see here. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites at minus 117 odds, minus 305 on the money line. The over-under set at 48 and minus 110 odds in each direction. So if you believe in that Cardinals line there, you simply click this plus 240 money line. And right there, you can see the bet slip popping right up on your screen. So I think this is a cool feature of Unibet that in most sports books, you see it kind of added to the side of the screen. Makes it pretty easy to use either way. But with Unibet, that it is out of the way when you're not using it, when you don't need it, and it pops right up at the moment when you do. So you click that plus 240 money line for the Cardinals. If you were to place $20 on that, as you can see, a potential payout of $68, and you simply click place bet for this to go through. Now, a factor that I think is worth noting, something that has grown in popularity, especially in recent years, is the growth of parlays. Those are obviously the best way to get a lucrative payout. They also come with the most inherent risk, as each leg of the parlay must hit for the entire bet to cash. But that is the way that if you want these lucrative payouts or massive deals to be watching all day, parlays are the way to do it. So I want to show that process here. Let's take a look at some of the other games on the NFL board. How about the Seattle Seahawks and Cincinnati Bengals? If you're feeling really optimistic, we can see that the Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites in this, or 2.5-point underdogs, excuse me, in this matchup, plus 120 on the money line. Over under is 46 in this matchup. Let's say you believe in the Seahawks to have an upset victory as well. So we're going to take a double dog money line parlay here. We're going to click this, and as you can see, the odds are already calculated. At plus 648, you simply type in the wager. If I was to put 15 on this here, a potential payout of $112.20. So it is that simple that it adds it directly for you. There is no second step needed. It is right there in front of you. You don't even got to slide over on the other side of the page to place a bet on Unibet. And a point that I think is noteworthy, as these aren't just, win or loss, over under, spread bets, that there is more to Unibet. So for example, if I was to click back in this Cardinals game, this will bring me to some more options. Here's the traditional point spread, total points, money line, but there's also options like the same game parlay, which have grown in popularity. There isn't the full option of wagers yet, as you can see by the countdown on the right side. 5 days and 18 hours until game time at the time I'm recording this. So none of the player props have quite dropped yet, but those will pop up as the game gets closer. And you know what? Let's circle over to the MLB, where there is a live action as well, and take a look at some of the options here. So at the time of me recording this, the Arizona Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead against the LA Dodgers. Kind of surprising there because the Dodgers were favorites. They dropped game one. Obviously, this is game two of the series here. So if this is an option where you want to jump in and you believe in the Dodgers to have a comeback, I know Arizona is the hometown team, but you could do that. And this is an example of why I believe live betting is an effective option. If you were to believe in the Dodgers coming into the game, that you'd have to pay a steep price because they were the favorite, but because they fall behind early, you can jump on that for plus value. So that is one of the advantages of live betting, is you're able to capitalize on markets that otherwise would not be there. Now, for this example, this obviously does not work out for betting the Diamondbacks, but you could jump on the Dodgers at plus 210 when you have to pay, I believe it was minus 175 heading into the game. So that is an impressive change there. Now let's dive in. Let's click a little further, and I want to show you what I mean when I talk about prop bets. So as you can see, there are the straight up money line, the run line, Dodgers or Diamondbacks -2 in this category here. The total runs at 8.5, and a ton more options. There's total hits, total runs. You can even go down to the result of pitches thrown if you want to get that specific and get that involved in the game, whether it's a strike, whether it's a ball, a hit by a pitch, whether it's in play. So there's a ton of fun options that you can sit there and get involved in every pitch if you want to. Some of the batter specials I think are very cool. For example, the LA Dodgers batter one of the inning 3 to record a hit or a walk. So as you're sitting there, if you believe that the inning's going to start out hot, that this is when the bats get going for the Dodgers, you can simply jump on, click that, and plus enter there. So a $10 bet would pay out $53 for the plus 430 value. Those are some examples of the prop bets that will come. And even when you scroll by, you can get some more specific, that there are batter specials such as what I just showed. There's pitch by pitch options. There are races too. For example, first to 4 runs, first to 5 runs, etc., etc. So those are some of the options, or a better example of what the prop bets that are rolled out. Another thing to note on Unibet here is it is not as specific to just players there. And also, by the way, there is options to watch within Unibet, which I think is a nice option there. But it is not specific to just player options for one game. Let's jump into the futures market here. So while it is fun to, place a wager, see what happens at the end of one day, maybe you want to watch for the length of the season to see if you get the payout. And this also is an opportunity to get a much more significant payout. So at number one, we have options for the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship, the AFC North, AFC East, each divisional lineup. Let's say you're feeling really optimistic about the Cardinals. Now, the 49ers are obviously off to an undefeated start to the season, 5-0 at the point of this recording. So I wouldn't say this is a wager I recommend. But if you believe in the Cardinals to come out and win the NFC West, you can prove that with your wallet and jump in and just drop a quick $10, and that would pay out $1,010 if the Cardinals were to do that. As I mentioned, this is not a wager that I would, recommend, but you can get on more specific. If I want to click on the Cardinals specifically, you can bet them to make the playoffs at plus 1,800. Or if you just want to think they can win 5 games, hit that over mark on 4.5, you can do that as well. This is maybe a better way to support the Cardinals while still, making sure you're getting the payout with your wallet without having to be too invested or cashing a check that you don't believe will pay out there. So if you want to hit that over 4.5 for the Cardinals wins, you can simply do that. A $25 wager at minus 125 odds would pay out $45, and you can do that right here on Unibet. So those are the basic ways for how you place a wager here. One thing that I forgot to note at the beginning when depositing money, which you have to do, of course, as much as it is important to capitalize on the promotions and making sure that you're minimizing risk, there is inherent risk that comes with sport betting as you are wagering your own money. The ways that you can deposit money into Unibet is by cash at the in-person locations, by credit card, by debit card, by e-check, by a Pay Near Me, by a PayPal, and a Unibet Play Plus card. As far as the withdrawals, a little more limited that you can have a bank transfer through PayPal, through Trustly, and through a Unibet Play Plus card. So those are the basic ways there. Overall, I would recommend, as Unibet is a $10 minimum deposit there, but I would recommend Unibet as a safe place to wager, as an effective way to wager, in a way that you can make the best money if you know what you're doing. So as far as some specifics for what I would consider the app, their welcome bonus, I'll drop down to a 3 out of 5. I think it's a little underwhelming compared to some of the competitors. There's some massive offers that is going around when you shop around, take a look at some of the other competitors out there. So there are some offers that are tough to compete with. I don't think Unibet stands out in this category, but once again, that is something that is constantly changing, constantly rotating, and you should keep an eye on bettingaz.com to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck when creating your account. The payment options, I'll give a 4 out of 5. That I think they fall in line with competitions and the payouts are handled very quickly, but most withdrawal requests are processed within 3 to 5 business days. And there are some other options that I would like to see added. Things like Venmo, some outside the box options, Zelle, even that some of the competitors have already rolled out the red carpet for. Unibet has not quite adjusted to at this point. The Sportsbook app itself, I'll also give a 3 out of 5. I've had pretty good usage on the desktop when taking you through this, but there are some users that have reported issues within the app, especially in the regards to the geolocation and the app freezing during payout processes. However, the ability to live stream sporting events in-app is a nice touch. I anticipate that these aspects will continue to get better as time goes on. I think the actual usage of it itself is pretty effective, and when things are going smooth, that it is up to par and up to the design. I guess when it's working, it is great. When it's not, it obviously is frustrating. That's kind of the issue that they have to work through with tech edit, but I do believe in it to come. The variety and features, I'll give a 3 out of 5. I think the frequency and variety of promotions are lower than we'd like to see, which is why I'm putting the biggest knock. But I do think that there are 25 plus sports markets to choose from. You're bound to find something you'll like and enjoy, and any of the main sports and even a lot of the niche, as I pointed out, are available on Unibet. Lastly, for customer support, I'll give a 4 out of 5. The live chat feature is responsive. It's pretty easy to access. So it is nice when the operators have multiple support channels to use. It isn't perfect. There are issues with it. Unibet, I would say, when comparing it, some of the bigger contenders is a little behind its competitors, but is still a worthwhile app, something that I think you can have a very positive betting experience on, and something at least to keep in the repertoire or as an option for Unibet. So for me personally, I will say it's exceeded my expectations. I think it is growing. It's going to continue to get better over time. It still has a little kinks here and there that it is working through, figuring out some issues with it overall, but I do believe in Unibet as a worthwhile app. Once again, make sure to check out bettingaz.com for a more in-depth breakdown on it. There is a link right in the description to this video here, and to make sure that you're getting the best possible promotions and everything else that we have covered for you on bettingaz.com. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. Best of luck with all your wagers, and I will talk next time.